guys have like a bunch of things that you hoard, like certain brands of stuff that you love it and you know you've got it, but you've just been keeping it stashed away and hoarding it and not using much of it? I know I have, and so it's time for me to finally start using them up. So that's why I decided I'm gonna do a Tim Holtz series on Mondays, and I'm just gonna make things using Tim Holtz stuff. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi, this is Sonia with Artsy Solutions, and today I'm going to show you what I made using the Tim Holtz stuff that I have. And I have stamps, dies, all kinds of medium sprays, ink pads, all sorts of different things from Tim Holtz. And I do love them, but like I said, I haven't really used much of it. So anyway, I made this little policy envelope, and I basically used some stickers, some stitching, different ephemera packs. So this opens up like that. Now the string, I think it's Recollections. I got it from Hobby Lobby, I think. Either Hobby Lobby or Michael's. So this opens up like that. Okay, and then I just put some ephemera, and you got a little ticket right here, a little pocket. And then you got like another little pocket. And like I said, I use ephemera packs. And I think I stuck this one here. This is supposed to come out, but I think I got it stuck. Then you've got a little notepad right here that I stitched on. So that's that. Let me go ahead and close it back up. And then let me flip to the back of it. And like I said, I've just got some little words and stuff. Just different pieces of ephemera and all that right there. Then here's another little one. And I made this for using a tea box. Some chai black tea. I made this from that, and then I just added some Tim Holtz papers and all kinds of Tim Holtz ephemera and mediums and stuff like that. Did a little bit of stitching around the edges. And then here's this side. And these are kind of like tags, I guess, if you want to call them that. And this is like a little pocket right here if I didn't glue that down. And then this is opens up with Velcro. And I forgot to put something in here. There's a little pocket right there. And then of course a little pocket there. And this was the box of tea that I used to make all of these right here. Well, the tea box, not the box of tea. It was just the box itself. And then finally here's this last one right here. And then you've got, is this a pocket? No, this isn't a pocket actually. But this is a pocket, and I forgot to put something down in there too. But yeah. So really easy to use up your stash, use up what you got. So let me go ahead and show you how I made these. Okay, so I'm just going to use this, it's a tea box that I have some Tezo organic chai tea, black tea, which is this right here. I love it. So I'm just going to use this box because it's still pretty good. There's nothing wrong with it. And we're going to use some Tim Holtz products because I have so many of them. And, well, not like a whole lot, but I haven't really been using them as much as I could because I've gotten caught up in digital journaling and stuff like that, that sometimes my other things kind of take a back seat. So we're just going to go ahead and use what we have. So I'm just going to make some tags and pockets, and they're going to be tags, but they're going to be like 3D tags or whatever, you know, or interactive tags, if that's a good word to use. So let me get my scissors. Now some of these, like this little piece right here, I'm just going to use it as like a fold out. So I'm going to add something to it. And I'm just going to cut this loose on the crease. And I guess I'll cut this on the crease. And I'm just tear these little extra pieces off that are like standing up. That way, just to kind of give it a smooth surface. Like this right here where the glue was. That way it's kind of thinner. I'm going to try to make it thinner. Okay, and then I'm just going to cut this straight across. You can use a paper trimmer if you don't trust your hand, steadiness of your hand. And let's see, I think I'm gonna keep that there. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep both of these on here as like flip ups to add to my tag. I'm gonna cut this. Okay, so the inner part of it, I like this cardboard look. But we're definitely, obviously, going to have to do something with the back of this. So, I have a combination of, I've got some papers, I've got some inks, I've got stamps and just different things, stencils, different Tim Holtz things that I can use on here. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go with the flow. I'm not going to think hard on it. I'm just going to start gluing some stuff on here. So until I run out of that sheet of paper, and then I'll grab another scrap piece of Tim Holtz paper because I've got a few of them. I probably should have went ahead and grabbed more. So I'm just going to use some art glitter glue, and I'm just going to glue, add some glue if I can get it unstuck. Okay, so I got it unstopped up. So I'm just going to add some glue on here, and we're just going to add this paper to it. And then we'll just cut it out after I finish gluing it on. And I'm going to do the same thing with some of these other ones. I'm gonna get the tall ones first to see if I can get it covered up completely. Like I said, I have a lot of Tim Holtz stuff that's just kind of been sitting around that I haven't really used. That includes papers, dyes, stamps, inks, different mediums, stuff like that. I don't have like a whole lot, but I have a collection that I should have been using. Here, let me slide this over somewhere. And I want to try to start using up more of my stuff instead of just hoarding it, because that's become a problem. My hoarding habits, my craft hoarding habits. So we're going to try to do more with those. And I love these papers that Tim Holtz makes. I love his style. Everything, his brand, like I love it. Vintage, anything vintage, that's me. Rugged, rustic, that's me. I love his stuff. So, let's see if I can get that on there. I know I can get at least one more. I may be able to get both of these. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, I may leave this open and we'll see as far as that one. Let me go ahead and add this on here. And then we're just going to cut these out. Carefully. And sometimes when I cut these out, I'll cut into the cardboard just a little tiny bit. That way I know that it's completely, there's no overhang. You know what I mean? I can't stand the overhang. It drives me nuts for some reason. So even if I have to cut into the cardboard just to make absolutely sure that I'm getting a clean cut, that's what I will do. So I have this one and I'm just going to fold it. I'm just going to fold that one, and I'll be distressing it, and I'm going to be adding some things to this. And these are going to be tags, so most likely they're not going to get connected to a journal or anything. Most likely, I don't know yet. I'm always in my head as I'm crafting, so I never really know what I'm going to do. I don't really have a map of what I'm making. I'm just kind of in the moment, just doing something, gluing some stuff together. You have to excuse that sound in the background. It's something's going on with our plumbing, and it sounds like whenever someone runs water, if it rains or something, it sounds like it's gurgling or something. So yeah, sorry. Okay, so yeah, I don't really have a plan when I'm crafting. I'm just kind of in my head, just doing something. Alright, so I'm going to just go ahead and finish cutting these out, and I'll be right back. So I've decided I'm going to go ahead and distress these. And I know I'm inking them up the incorrect way. I know I'm supposed to take my little dauber and do my little circles, but that takes too long, so I'm just doing it like this because it's quicker. And I don't mind those extra brown lines on there, or the colors that are coming on here. I don't mind that at all, actually, because I like that rugged look. So, okay, so we've got all these distressed, and I've got little, what do you call these little things that you can connect something to? So now we get to have fun doing a little bit decorating, and I still need to do something with this. I still haven't figured out what specifically I want to do yet. Let me go ahead and get the inside of it though, because I may leave some of it showing. Even though this is like a Tim Holtz type thing, I may still leave some of this tea showing and just let that be a tag on its own. Let me just go ahead and distress it a little tiny bit. And I may just put like some type of medium on it, which is what I'm getting ready to do in my next step. Yeah, I think I will. So I've got some speckled egg, distress ink. I've got this new, it's not new on the market, but it's new to me, distress glaze that I've never used before. I was watching Fam from Livy's Lovelies in one of her videos, and she added it to one of her printed images, and when she did, it brought out the colors on it, because she wasn't using the laser jet. I think she said she was using an inkjet printer, but when she added some of this glaze to it, it made it more pronounced. But I think I'm gonna try and use this to emboss with. I just want to just play around with some of these different mediums just to give it different textures, you know. And then I've got some Crackling, what is this, Crackling Campfire? I can't see too good. Crackling Campfire and Speckled Egg Distress Embossing Glaze. So we'll see. I may use those, I may not, I don't know. I just took out some stuff just to, we're just experimenting. Okay, so yeah. First, let me get this rag, so I'm gonna get stuff all over the place. I'm gonna use, I've got strings on here from where I was sewing. Okay, so let me move all this, which I probably will do some stitching on here after I figure out what I want to do. But yeah, let's do some prepping. So I'm going to spray, I'm just going to do something. I'm going to spray some of this Distress Stain Speckled Egg on here, just a little bit. But I think I'm going to keep part of that covered up. And some of this covered up. Some of it. And we're just going to see what we can come up with. Alright. So we've got that on there. I like that blue. I'm going to let that sit and dry for a little bit. And I may just kind of shake it And see how it left that little runny kind of look? I don't mind that at all. Leave that there. Then I think I'm going to spray just a little bit of this, just randomly. And I'm going to flip it over and add a little bit of color to it as well. So all of these, I'm just going to add it to all of these, just randomly here and there. And we're going to let those dry, because I do want these to kind of match as like a set. Okay, so we're going to let those dry. Let me get my heat embossing tool to speed up the process. I'm going to let those dry and I'll be right back. Okay, so these are pretty much dry. And I'm going to go ahead and create like a background for these. Now they are a little bit bowed, but that's okay because I can still work with it. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to take some of the bigger ones. Well, all of them. I'm just going to randomly add some stamping on here. And just kind of wipe this off a little bit. So, this is not the honeycomb. This one is the burlap layering stencil. It came with the honeycomb, but I'm going to use the burlap one. Honeycomb was in here somewhere. Yeah, I need to organize my stuff. So anyway, we're just going to take some random stamps, and I've got my stamping block. Yeah. This one is Stampers Anonymous, Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous, Life's Possibilities. I don't know if you can see that or not. Life's Possibilities. Here's the UPC number. It's an old collection. So, let me put this one here. Some of these I'm going to do in black, and some of them I'm going to do in, now when I do the black, I do have some black Oxide ink somewhere, black soot, but I'm probably going to use this Archival ink. I know that's not Tim Holtz, but it's Ranger, and Ranger works with Tim Holtz, so, because I like Archival ink, so that's what I'm going to use. And I'm going to use some broken china to start out with. I'm just going to add some of this. I will do this the correct way. I need to get me one of those other little blending tools that looks like a makeup brush that everyone's got. I haven't gotten one yet because I'm cheap. And I use some of the same stuff over and over again. I actually do have another blending tool somewhere. No, I think I sold it on eBay. Because I was trying to de-stash. Yeah, I think I did that de-stash in July, Christmas in July. I think that's when I kind of got rid of it. But that's okay too, because I've got this blending tool which does just fine. So you use what you have. You don't have to have a whole bunch of stuff. You can make do with what's around that you can find. I'm loving how this is starting to look. That's what I love about these vintagey looking things, is you don't really have to add a whole bunch of colors and stuff, but they already start popping. And speaking of popping, I think I'm going to add a little bit of that Tim Holtz glaze. One of my fellow creators, she said it looks like Vaseline. It kind of does resemble some Vaseline though, honestly. I ain't even gonna lie to you. But we're gonna see how this works out. I'm just gonna add just a little bit on top of it. And what I'm probably gonna do, oh, look at how it does bring the color out though. even with this oxide. So you have like, this is stamped. Let me put it side by side. Okay, so this is the stamp without, or the, what do you call it? Not stamp, but the, what do you call it? Stencil. The stencil image without the glaze, and this is it with the glaze. So the glaze does kind of make it look more pronounced when you put the two side by side. It does bring it out, but I'm gonna bring it out even more because I'm gonna throw some embossing powder on it, and we're gonna see how that does. Like I said, I'm gonna try to experiment with different mediums and stuff, because I've done stamping and embossing, but I've typically used the same types of stuff. So I want to kind of expand a little bit on it. It's not that I didn't have things that I could try out. I don't know. I just kind of got stuck in my ways using the same old stuff. So now we're going to see what else we can do. And you don't really have to have a whole lot, does it? It doesn't look like you do, because it's still pretty shiny. I just can't wait to see when I add some embossing powder to it how it's going to do. Because what I'm going to do, some of it I'm going to add some enamel, embossing enamel, and then some of it I'm going to use, well, I was going to say some clear detail embossing powder, but the clear detail embossing powder is not Tim Holtz, it's Recollections. So I might just stick to, I'm just going to stick to Tim Holtz. So what I may do is put some red over top of these and some of the blue speckled egg, just to see what we can come up with. Now see how okay, so I blended that in, and I don't know if you can see it or not, but I kind of came down a little bit more, because when I put the red on, it's going to stretch on down past the stencil mark, so it'll still pick up red even further down. So that's, we're going to see how that looks on here. Alright, I'm just going to do like one at a time. So let me move this stencil out of the way, put it back in its container so I don't lose it. I don't know what I did with that other one. Maybe put that one in there. Okay, so did I put something? Somehow I skipped this one. Hold on, let me get my little stencil back out again. We don't want this one lonely, so we're going to add a little stencil work to that so it doesn't feel left out. Now I can put that up. And then I'm going to add just a little tad bit of this little embossing glaze on here. And like I said, I'm going to add some embossing powder or embossing glaze to it. I'm going to add some blue, and then I'm going to add some, let me put this over here, and some of the red sparkling campfire, or whatever that, crackling campfire. Okay, so let me get a little sheet of white paper. This is just some copy paper. And they do sell things on there, out there on the market, your actual embossing like container, but I don't have one of those. I don't think I do. Okay, so we're gonna, first I'm gonna use some of this speckled egg embossing glaze. So we're just gonna sprinkle some of that on here, because I know when I was watching, when this first came out, the embossing glaze, when it first came out, I was watching the demo with Tim Holtz, and he was showing how you could still see the image beneath the glaze. So I'm hoping, but he had did some stamping, I think, when he was doing that demonstration. But either way, even if it doesn't, I still like that Even if I can't see the detailed stencil mark, I still like that blue going up and down like that. So we're just going to try it one at a time. Okay, so for show and tell, you can still see it. You can actually still see the stencil marks in there. So I'm just going to kind of let this dry a little bit. And then I'm going to take another one and I want to add some red to it and see how it does. So I like playing with these different colors and see. That's quite bright. It's a beautiful color red though. They make great fall and Christmassy colors. I've got a green too somewhere, but I don't feel like taking it out. So let's try this. So you can see the red and you can faintly see the blue beneath it. And I like that. I really do. So this is what we have so far. So I'm just going to go through these and just sprinkle on a little bit of this glaze, these glazes. And what I may do is just mix it up a little bit. Meaning, let me just show you. I'm going to add just a little dab of both. So I'm just add like dab, 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 just a little dab. Oops. Put this back in here, and then I want to add some red to some of them. I don't want to overdo it, you know, because I did want to have the one with just only the red, and then the other one with only blue. And then I'm going to add some red. I think I'm going to add red to all of these. Just a little bit. Because that's all it needs with the red. It's just a pinch. And you notice I didn't let it go over that way, because I just only want it in mainly one concentrated area. I don't want it spread all over. Just enough to give it some color. And we're going to see how that turns out. The only downside, the only thing I don't really care for with these are these lids. It's hard to get the lids on right. But other than that, they're awesome. I still like the quality of them. The containers could use some adjustments. Oh, now I gotta wait for my embossing tool to get ready again. So while I'm waiting on the embossing, I'm just gonna go ahead and cheat and add some of this Archival ink, Ranger Jet Black. And I'm just going to randomly stamp some stuff. And who knows, this might even look pretty good over some of these. Like I said, it's just random. I don't know how well it's going to pick up, but okay, so this is what it looks like with the stamp and the embossing and stuff like that. I like that. That's what these look like. And this one. Alright, so now let's go ahead and start assembling some of these. So this is going to have something connected to it. So I think I'll connect these two together. And I may actually make this into a pocket, so I'm just going to put a little glue here, a little glue here, and a little on this bottom part right here. And I'm going to connect it like right here so that you can see the T information on this. And this is going to flip out. I'm just going to let that dry, and I'll come back to that in a minute. And then this, let's see, how should I do this? I'm going to connect these two, so I'm just going to add some glue right there. I'm going to glue this on here. And I like the fact that the insides are all similar, they're the same color, and they've all got embossing, so that kind of matches. So even if you see this part exposed, that's fine because it works with it. Now these right here, top and bottom, since they're two different sizes, got a gnat flying around in here. Let's see, how am I going to do these? I think I'm going to use some Tim Holtz paper to connect to those. So let me get another sheet of it. Let me just look and see this in the memorandum. We'll get some small ones. So this has like some 6x6 images on it, so I think I'll take one of these. And I'm just going to add them on. Luckily they are already only 6x6, and this is, or 3x3. This is 3 inches. And then these little things are 3 inches as well. That's a good thing about the Tim Holtz paper, the paper stash. He had 12x12, 6x6s, and 3x3s. So you kind of already know the sizes. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut some of these down. And I like that one image with the man on there, so I'll probably use that. So let me go ahead and cut these down to size. To 3x3s. I set that extra paper to the side, and I'll go ahead and take this, cut it. So we're just going to start gluing some stuff together. So we've got this one and this one. I kind of like that right there too. So I'm going to add what did I do with the one with the man on it? Here it is. All right, I'm going to add him. I'm going to add him on here. So I'm just going to, actually I think he looked better against this red. So I'm going to fold this down. We're going to add him on here. Three by 3. And then this is going to come up. So what I need to do is create like a, I'm going to put something here too. But before I do that, I need to create something here and here to keep this closed. So I'm probably going to do some circle punches. I think I'm going to use, is it too big or should I use this smaller one? I'm going to just cut some black cardstock the size of this, several pieces, probably like 3 for here, 3 for here, and glue them together. And I'm going to make like a, what do you call those envelopes? Whatever, a closure for it. So let me find some black cardstock. So I found some black cardstock, some little scrap pieces of it. Let me set these over here. I'm just going to glue these together, like 3 of them, because I want them pretty sturdy. And these are going to go, I'm going to go ahead and put one here so that when I fold this down, it'll become like a policy envelope for this here. Now what I may do, instead of a small circle for that one, I think I'm going to use this bigger one, even though it's typically you use the same size. I'm going to be different. I'm going to put these together. And then I got to get some string to put these together with. Okay, so I've got some brads and I've got some string, and no, this isn't Tim Holtz, but sometimes you got to use what you have, and I don't have Tim Holtz string or brads, but I will have to get some eventually one day. So I'm just going to punch a hole in here. The reason why I'm not using the hole punch is because I don't want it too big. Well, I may use the small end. I'll use this small hole punch. I'm trying to get it in the center. Alright, and then I'm going to feed this string through. I don't need it too big, too long. So I'm going to feed it through here. And then I'm going to feed the brad through. If I can get it. Goodness. And what you could do, you can go ahead and add some glue right here with that, or you could use tape or something. But I need to position this to where, I think I'll put it up here, so that's pretty high. I'm just going to kind of make like a mark on where I want to punch the hole. Like right in there. I don't know if you can see that or not. And this isn't going to reach, so I'm going to have to get my big bite. And I'm just going to punch a hole right there with the big bite, and then I'm going to add this down in there and spread it open. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and stick this down there. Actually, what I should have done first, I should have gone ahead and put the string down in here first. So I got my string, and then we're going to put this brad down in there. Oh, look what I did. I think I got it too high up. So, I guess I'm just going to have to use this small one. Well, no, that's kind of high up. Let me just cut this down a little bit further to where this will be right in here, because if I open this up, I don't want this right here getting messed up or bent. So let's just go ahead and prick like a little hole down in there. You want to be really careful when you're doing this too, so you don't hurt yourself. Let me cut that. Let me get my big bite again. Wait a minute, wrong hole. Okay. So now, let's try this again. I'm going to put this in this one a little bit further down. And it's okay because I'm going to cover this up right here anyway, so that's fine. So then we're just going to put this through here. We'll put this one down inside this little hole. And then we're going to make sure that that's down. And then we're going to open up our brad. Make sure that your string is held down. And I think I'm actually going to cover this up. Yeah, I'm just going to cover that up right there. Because I want to make sure that the brad stays in place, and I also want to make sure that that brad isn't shown. Whenever you open this up. So let's just try to make sure our pages are lined up. So that's why I like to use wet glue. Make sure these pages are lined up pretty well. And if you have any excess like hanging over, you can just cut that off if you can't get it lined up correctly. So I'm just going to cut that little tiny bit right there. So now it's pretty clear. Yeah. Alright, so now we've got that on there. And then we've got to make sure that we place a hole like right in here. Or we could put it down in here. So we could make it, no, I think it'll do better right in here. So I'm opening this up, and let's see if this will fit in there. Nope. Gotta get my big bite again. Oops. Put this little, punch a little hole in the middle, or as close to the middle as you can get it. Being careful not to pierce yourself as you're doing it. And then line it up on your big bite and complete the hole. And then all I'm going to do with this one is simply add a brad. So this is the easy part. The hard part was adding the string on that other one. This is the really easy part. So we're just gonna do the same thing. Gonna open up our brad, and then we're gonna cover this up. I really don't want to cover up this whole image. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to cover it up a little bit, like halfway, or I'll just go ahead and do the whole thing because it's not going to look right just halfway across. I'm just going to cut this here. And I should have distressed it, but it's okay. And I'm just going to add some glue on here. And add this. I'm going to line up the top and the left and try to line it up with the bottom. And then we're just going to glue it on. But we definitely want to make sure that that brad is covered up and glued, and this paper is stuck, glued down really well around the brad. I'm just going to wipe off any excess glue. And I'm probably going to add some stitching around this. But in the meantime, let me just go ahead and cut this off. So now we've got that. And I'm probably going to stitch on some paper to kind of come down. Let me go ahead and just create like some type of little pad, notepad. I'm just going to take a single sheet of 8.5 by 11 inch paper, and I'm going to fold it in half, and then in half again, and then in half again, if that makes any sense, because that should fit. And I'm just going to cut it down on the side that's connected. I'm going to take about 1/4 of an inch off. And it doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm going to take a little bit off the bottom. The parts that are still stuck together, I'm going to leave them together. But then I'm just going to, let me just kind of fold this up to where I want to cut it. And I'm just going to cut going straight across. And it does not have to be even. It's totally fine. If you want, you could actually just tear it, and that would work. And I'm just going to add just a little tiny bit of glue here to keep these together. And then I'm going to add some glue on this little lip right here. And then I'm going to add the paper. And then I'm going to let it dry. And I'm probably going to send it through the sewing machine in just a minute after it dries. But before I do any stitching, I want to go ahead and make sure that this closure is going to work. So that's going to fold down like so. actually like this. And I want to try to make sure that this is going to go around this. I should have left it kind of loose when I put the brad on there. I should have left it somewhat loose. But right here you go. And then you can put it going around as many times as you like. Or as few times as you like. So now we've got us a little closure. So that's that first one. And I'm probably going to go over these with some distress inks in a little bit. But let's focus on, so let's put that out of the way. Let's focus on these other ones. These last two. So we've got our little T showing right here. And let's see, these are our cards. I'm just going to take a little piece of this Tim Holtz paper and make sure it's turned the right way. And I'm going to create like a pocket on the inside of this. And I don't want it to take away from some of that stamping. So I'm just going to tear it going across and about to right there. It doesn't have to come, it doesn't have to be perfect going straight across as far as the width of the tag. So I'm going to tear this going down like that. And I'm tearing it to where the white edges, the torn edge shows. Like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this. I'm just going to tear this, but I'm going to have it coming down at a diagonal because I like that look. And it kind of looks like a corner pocket. But I am going to go ahead and add a little bit of distress ink. Where did I put it at? There I go, losing stuff again. Here we go, vintage photo. Yeah, we're just going to add a little bit of this one here. Okay. And then we're just going to put that on there. Add this to the corner of this tag. Did I do it right? Yeah, I did it right. This is going to go here and here. And you've got like a little pocket on your tag. Now there's a little bit of overlap right here, so I'm just going to trim that down. Like I said, I'm probably going to go over these edges. Let me just do that now because it's stressing me out. I like to have my edges distressed. I'll go ahead and distress these edges too while I'm at it. And then we're going to start adding some elements on some of these. I'm probably going to add like a pocket. I might just turn this into a pocket. And then this going back. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. Well, we will figure that out. And some of my paper came out. I'm going to have to glue a little portion of this one here. I don't want to add too much glue because I do want to stitch. And I don't want my stitches, I don't want the glue to get all up into the sewing machine, you know. Okay, so we're going to let that finish drying. And I do need this distress, this here, and here from where I had tore it at. I'm going to go ahead and distress this, and this, and this. Okay, so I think that's pretty good. I'm not going to worry about distressing this paper that's on here. I'm not going to worry about that. I think it'll be okay. So, alright, we'll just put this back up on here or try to anyway. Oh, it's so tight. Alright, once you get that first part on there, it goes right on in. So, yeah. Got that. So, like I said, I'm going to turn this into a pocket. I kind of like that. And then I might just have to let this go. Let me cut that off. And what I'll probably do is just add it onto here. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Yeah. Let me get some clips because this is kind of thick and it's not wanting to stick too well. So I'm going to get some clamps to kind of clamp these shut. And then we're going to add this one here. I wonder if I should turn it. I'm going to turn it like that. I like that. I'm going to put this here, here, and here. And I like the brown showing. I like that instead of the other side because it brings that out. So it kind of almost matches a little bit. And we're going to be adding some more stuff on here because I've got some more decorations. But I wanted to get the base of everything on these tags first. And since this is left over, I think I'm going to, let me just cut this going straight across. And I'm just going to tear this going down. I'm going to add this on here. Yeah. Let me distress that. So when you're making these tags, just glue some stuff. You really don't even have to put a whole lot of thought into it. You just want to make sure your stuff matches. Oh, I forgot I had this here. Am I missing another? Forgot I had this one. So let me just cut this off because I'm going to do this one similar to how I just did that right there. I'm going to cut this. I'm going to glue this together. And that should be glued pretty well. So I'm going to just take these clamps off of this one, add them onto here. So we got pockets, pockets. I think I'm going to add this to the back of this. That's what I'm going to do. I wonder if I should stitch it. I'm going to stitch these separately first. I'm going to stitch this going around the edges, and then I'm going to glue it to this back piece. It's kind of a waste of that, but it'd be alright. Or I might just leave that by itself. I'll leave that by itself. Yeah. Because I hate to waste, and I hate the fact that I've already added this paper on here. So yeah. And plus I don't want it to be too thick because these are cards after all, or tags after all. So, or kind of like tags or something. Yeah, and then this, yeah, I can just kind of fold it in half a little bit. And I'm going to create my edge. I'm just going to, there we go. Now we've got us a real tag. Okay. And then we're going to distress where we just cut it at on both sides. Okay. And what did I say I was going to? Yeah, I was going to add a pocket right there. So we're going to add a little bit of glue here, a little bit right there. We're just going to glue this on here. Now what I should have did, which I can still do, I think I'm going to add some Velcro, like a little half a piece of Velcro up in here to attach to right there. That way this will stay closed. And I learned to just cut it in half with Fam from Livy's Lovelies. She was making some tags, and and these are very strong. So when you stick them on there, you really don't need a whole circle. And I learned that from her. And these do stick very well. So I think I'm going to turn it. Let me see. Put this here up against the edge. And then it'll help this stay closed since this is so thick, like really, really thick. That's some glue. Got so much clutter on here. All right, so now comes the really fun part. We're gonna do some decorating, but before I decorate, I am gonna stitch around the edges of these, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I got these stitched up. But of course I had problems with my sewing machine, but I think I got it working. But I think I'm going to add on this one right here with this Velcro. It stays, but I don't like how that gap is right there. So I think I'm going to add like another little half of the Velcro on there. I just want to show you. Look at all the thread I went through trying to fix my stupid sewing machine. Like it. I have so much trouble with that thing. Like, I don't know what the deal is. Yeah, anyway. I mean, I'm glad I got it working again, but I just have the worst luck with it. I don't know what the deal is. But, yeah, so we're just going to cut this in half. I went on ahead and I put the two together. I'm just going to cut a little half. Keep one half, and then we're going to reserve the other one. And put it on that little acetate right there. And then we're just going to stick this on here, similar to how we have the other one. I'm going to try to get it aligned up against there. And it looks kind of funny because this one has a little bit of a stitch on it, whereas this one doesn't, but I think that'll be okay. Might just kind of give it character. It'll be alright. I think that looks better. Yeah, so. And I put this on, when I added this, obviously I should have had it turned going this way, but I didn't. So we're gonna decorate this side. So we're gonna take some of the Tim Holtz little bits and bobs of different things that I have. Okay, so I think I finally finished it. So this is what we have. So really easy. I just used some scraps, just a bunch of things that I already had from Tim Holtz. Use your stash. Don't hoard them like I've been doing. Go ahead and start using them and just make some stuff. Don't think too hard on it. Just start gluing the stuff together, and it'll work out. It'll come together as you work with it. I could have added some of these on there, but I didn't. But yeah, I hope you guys like this project. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up, and check out my other videos, my blog, and my social media sites, and my other videos. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you do, like I said, subscribe, click the notifications, the bell for notifications, and thank you so much for watching.